Hey there, I am back with another deck review, and today we're going to be looking at Imperium playing cards. Imperium was designed by Australian illustrator Kelly McMahon, and it really has all the hallmarks of her clean, minimalist, and modern style. The deck's intended as a celebration of female empowerment, and it embraces that concept with a set of matriarchal custom court cards, all of whom are set in a completely original fantasy world. But more on those courts and on the story a bit later on. The deck was originally launched on Kickstarter. It was one that I didn't even see when it was on Kickstarter. So really excited when Kelly reached out to me and offered to share one of the decks with me so that I could show it off to you guys on the channel. So very excited to get into it, and let's get started. Now, starting with the tuck box, it's done with this soft touch finish on a really pale pink color here, almost white, really light feel to it, and a very clean minimalist style applied to the tuck box. Just says Imperium playing cards in the center, and then has the pips forming up this pattern on the top and the bottom. It is enhanced a little bit with the UV spot coating. You can see that little bit of reflection there on the pips themselves. That adds just a little bit of texture and just that slightly elevated feel that helps the tuck box feel that much nicer. Very clean look to it. Almost looks like it could be like the label of an elegant perfume or something like that. Really nice look to it overall. The sides just have the 4 pips in a row, nothing on the top and bottom of the tuck box, and on the back you get that same pip pattern, as well as a small bit of the story of the deck there in the middle. Enter the world of Imperium, a deck of playing cards inspired by a fantasy realm ruled by powerful women from 4 nations. So love the look to the tuck box. Nothing on the inner flaps or on the interior of the tuck box, but a nice clean look to it overall. So nicely done on that, but let's get into the cards themselves. We'll start with the back design. And here it is. So very much keeping with the styles that we've seen on the tuck box. Has that same pattern, but this time covering the entire card. So pale pink card, and then the 2-tone pips that are forming this interlocking pattern, this kind of grid of shapes here all the way through. Nice look to it overall, very clean, and it forms that sort of implied poker border around the edges. So I like it. Usually I like more ornate, kind of more illustrated back designs, but this one, in keeping with the rest of the deck, I think is a great fit overall. So there's your back design. The 4 aces are just oversized versions of the pips that we're going to see as we go through the number cards. So the black ones are done in the 2-tone black and gray against the white background, and then the red cards done with those that sort of maroon and I know light or dark pink, I guess I would call it, color. But nice look to it, and just the simple lines extending top and bottom give just a little bit of extra elegance and framing to the cards themselves. They all have the really small pip and index in the corner, much smaller than normal, but nice look to the aces overall. The number cards have those same pips, only smaller. They do have those little lines to give that extra little framing to the deck, but otherwise not too much to say about these. They're nice looking. They do have some kind of custom arrangements of the pips that always adds a little bit of extra interest for me. But overall, nice functional pips that just have that extra modern touch to them that gives them a little bit of extra interest. So this is definitely something that's going to be nice and usable if you want to use this in a game. I will note they are one-way number cards, so normally you'll see some of the pips in the center will be reversed and going the other direction, but this one, instead, all of them are single direction. Not something that impacts your gameplay too much or anything like that, but just an interesting extra little note on these. So there's your hearts. And then we get to the court cards. And the court cards are without a doubt the highlight for me of the entire deck. They feature really familiar layouts, that 2-way court card style, but everything's been updated with all female characters set in that fantasy world I mentioned that's created by Kelly McMahon along with her collaborator, voice actress and author Rochelle Hager. And each one of the suits tells the story of the leading ladies from one of the 4 major kingdoms in this fantasy world. The story behind the characters is so much richer than I can get into here, but I'll try to give you a little taste, and it's definitely worth checking out the accompanying booklet to learn a little bit more. It's a great booklet, has lots more to the story, but we'll kick things off with the spades. This is the Dark House Peak, who live deep in the forest. The word peak literally translates to spade in French. But they're led by Ziri, a necromancer here with an army of reborn spirits. Next up is her Queen Thea, who is herself one of those spirits who was resurrected and now serves as Ciri's queen. And of course, those souls don't collect themselves. They're collected by Sylvia, the Reaper, here on the Jack of Spades. Great, powerful, regal look to these. And I love the color scheme that's done on these. Those pale pastel pink colors paired with the grays and the blacks. Just a very, very modern color scheme, and one that works really, really well with the artwork on these. I think these are fantastic court cards overall. But anyway, moving on to the diamonds, we get a look at House Carew, home to the fierce warriors led by their knight and King Brielle. She has a look that's very much inspired by classic RPG characters with that sort of armor that she's wearing there. She's said to be a really powerful knight. And then next to her is her General Elle and Freya, a commander in her army and one of the legendary Pegasus Knights. Again, really, really like the color palettes that's chosen on these. These I think I like even more than the black cards. That red hair that they've got paired with that purple background, I think it's a great pairing overall. All right, so next up is the clubs, and the clubs represent House Trefle, who dwell in the deserts, and they're hoarders of the collected wisdom of the entire world. And at their head is Maya, the High Priestess. At her side is one of the most powerful magic wielders in the entire world, Nyx, also called the Gatekeeper. And finally is the unassuming Aaliyah. She's a spy who helps her house collect the intel that they need. So she's very much meant to be the most unassuming of characters here. So that's the clubs. And then finally are the hearts, featuring the regal House Core. All of the women shown here are goddesses actually in their own right, from their leader Arlith to Marlaya, the queen, and Cora, their retainer. Cora, by the way, happens to be my favorite core card in the entire deck, but all of them I think are just really beautifully illustrated all the way through. House Core finds their home by the ocean, and they close out the last of the 4 major kingdoms of the land. But that's not the end of the characters. Of course, we have to get to the final 2 cards, the 2 jokers. This is Raylan and Kay. And the pair serve as something like the fates of Greek mythology when you read the entire story. They use their powers to sort of weave the story that surrounds the realm. And the 2 in the story almost seem to have their own game that exists outside of everything. Like they're almost toying with the lives of everybody around them, but something only the 2 of them seem to understand. And so you see the pair of them here in very similar poses on the red and the black jokers. And that is it. That is the deck. I think an absolutely beautiful deck, in particular those jokers and those court cards, just really well illustrated, lots of character to them overall. And as you read the story in the accompanying booklet, just so much more to explore. As far as handling the deck overall, it's printed by Print Ninja, which I'm not sure that I have any other decks that are printed by Print Ninja, so wasn't sure what to expect with them, but I gotta say I was pleasantly surprised. It's not the smoothest handling deck overall, but it is more than capable of a deck, you know, if you want to shuffle it or even using it for fans and things like that. You know, a little bit clumpier than usual, but overall a nice handling deck overall, nice smooth feel to them. So no complaints whatsoever, particularly if you want to use this as a functional deck for gameplay or something like that. I don't think you're going to have any issues with this one. So kudos to Print Ninja, a lot better than I even was expecting when I picked up the deck. So nice pleasant surprise on that one. But anyway, that is the look at Imperium playing cards. And if you want to find out more about Kelly McMahon, about her work, or about the deck, I'll put a link down in the description where you can check out her website and read plenty more about it. I recommend it. I think her artwork's fantastic. But anyway, that's it for now. Thanks again to Kelly for sending me this deck, and hope you guys enjoyed. Make sure to subscribe for more deck reviews, more unboxings. Let me know what else you want to see on the channel, and I'll see you for the next one.